Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Here at Mad About Skin, we're passionate about helping you to get the most out of your skincare. So if you haven't already, now's a fantastic time to click that link below, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and you won't miss out on any of our amazing future content. Now, in today's video, we're talking all things skin purging. That pesky period you go through when you introduce a new skincare ingredient to your routine. You're promised gorgeous results, glowing skin, luminosity to be brought back, and an even skin surface texture. And yet somehow, when you first apply the product, your skin seems to get worse before it gets better. Well, that is scientifically known as purging. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what purging is, what ingredients are likely to cause it, but more importantly, and what you're all probably here for, is what you can do to minimize the risk and the amount of purging which occurs. So if that seems like something you'd be interested in, keep on watching. So first off, let's talk about what is purging. Well, purging often mimics the appearance of a breakout, where you see an increase in blackheads, whiteheads, and acne as a result of introducing a new ingredient into your skincare routine. What causes it is the increase in cellular turnover. So for a purge to happen, the ingredient that you're including in the routine, the new ingredient, has to increase cellular turnover. That's the rate at which the skin cells regenerate, get rid of the old and bring in the new. Normally that happens over a 28-day period on average, but when you introduce a product which is going to increase cellular turnover, that 28-day window is shrunk down. As a result, often the skin brings things to the surface, so flushes or purges the skin out. So any closed comedomes, which are zits which just haven't happened yet, they're sat there under the skin waiting to erupt. Because they're increasing cellular turnover, these are all brought to the surface in one go, which is why it seems like quite a dramatic and often quite distressing breakout or purge. I try to see purging as a positive thing, because all of these zits which appear when you first introduce that new product were there anyway. They were going to erupt at some point, and actually you've just caused them all to erupt at the same time. So you've got rid of them, and you can then look forward to the fantastic skin that awaits on the other side. However, it can be super distressing. You know, I've gone through many a purge in my time, and it is really just you've spent money on a product which appears to not be working and making the situation worse. It's unsightly and it can damage your self-confidence and self-esteem. And so there are some things we can do to minimize the amount of purging which takes place. So what ingredients are likely to cause purging? Well, as we said before, anything which increases the rate of cellular turnover. So that includes exfoliating acids, retinoids, vitamin C's. These are all likely to increase the rate of cellular turnover and so could cause a purge. Purging doesn't happen with everybody. You know, it is very much specific to your individual skin and skin type, but at some point in our skincare journeys, we're likely to experience this purge. One of the common questions we always get asked is how to tell the difference between a purge and a breakout. Well, there's no real hard and fast rule about telling the difference between the two, but what I would normally say is if the increase in pimples and breakouts are happening in an area where you would normally get pimples, acne and breakouts, then that's likely to be a purge, because what that is zits which were ready to happen anyway but been brought to the surface all in one go. If they're happening in other areas where you don't normally experience breakouts and acne, then that could be a sign of a reaction to the product, and that's where I might want to look a little bit more detail into whether I might actually be having a reaction to the product because it's generating zits and breakouts in areas where I don't normally get acne. So that's one of the things to think about. So let's get on to the bit you're all here for, and how we can prevent or minimize the rate of purging with the introduction of a new product. These are my top tips for minimizing the rate of purging. Tip number one will be to include an azelaic acid in your routine before introducing any ingredients which are likely to increase cellular turnover. Azelaic acid is gorgeous. I love it as an ingredient and it's applicable for most skin types, so most people can benefit from including it in their skincare routine. Why it works great to minimize and reduce the risk of purging is because it has anti-inflammatory benefits. So often the purge appears worse than it actually is because it's inflamed and red in nature. Azelaic acid will prevent some of that and tone down that redness and inflammation. It will also help fight acne causing bacteria. So over a period of say a month, it will actually reduce the amount of acne causing bacteria on the skin surface, and so should reduce the amount of breakouts you're experiencing anyway, which can only be a good thing because the fewer amount of comedomes ready to erupt means the lower amount of and chance of purging that you're likely to experience. Azelaic acid is absolutely wonderful, and I did a whole review on it, which I'll leave a link to up there, so check that out for some more detail. But if you include the azelaic acid a month before you then want to introduce any other new actives into your skincare routine, it's just going to minimize the risk of irritation irritation, redness, and purging. My go-to azelaic acid at the moment is the one by Geek and Gorgeous, which I'll leave an image to there. Beautiful strength, really nice formulation. It's €8, £7 or around $10, so super affordable. And I think that's just a really, really gorgeous azelaic acid to include in your routine. If you live in Canada, you can't always get your hands on some of these higher strength azelaic acids, so I would recommend you get hold of the Garden of Wisdom azelaic serum, which is really good, and a lower strength one that you can purchase over in Canada. Of course, you can look at Paula's Choice or the Ordinary Do an Azelaic acid serum, all great, but my current go-to favourite has to be from Geek and Gorgeous, so I'd recommend you check that out and think about including it in your skincare routine. Tip number 2 would be to introduce these actives gradually into your routine. Any active which is going to increase the rate of cellular turnover will have quite a harsh mechanism of action. So I don't think it's great to go in and use them every single day from the start. Especially when you're talking about things like exfoliating acids and retinols, these need to be introduced to your routine and your skin slowly so the skin can become accustomed to them, and so the rate of irritation, reaction and purging is minimized. For retinols, I would generally say introduce them 2 times a week for the first maybe month, then increase it to 3 times a week and then 4 times a week until you're comfortable using it daily. In terms of exfoliating acids, I would first use them 2 or 3 times a week, and then after about a month of using them, increase to 4, 5 and then daily. This way you're going to minimize the risk of irritation and purging, and any increase in cellular turnover is going to be introduced gradually to the skin, which again means that purge is going to be spread out over a longer period of time, and you're not going to get that initial burst of acne and breakouts, which can be so distressing. I think a lot of people are keen and excited. I'm so impatient. I get my hands on a product and I just want to try it there and then. I want to get my hands on it and see those fantastic results. And so I overuse the product and don't follow the instructions, which do usually recommend a gradual introduction. And you end up paying the price. So heed the warning and go in gently with any new active ingredient you're including in your skincare routine. My top tip number 3 would be to not introduce more than one active ingredient at a time. I see so many people who want to take charge of their skin, want to get a gorgeous skincare routine in place. They get super enthusiastic, they order loads of products that they think are going to work and throw them all in at once. Well, that is just going to supercharge your skin's reaction and create the biggest purge possible. So what I would actually recommend, if it's possible, is just to increase each active ingredient at one step at a time, leaving about a month between the introduction of one active ingredient and the next. So say for example you want to include an exfoliating acid and a retinol in your skincare routine and you don't have either currently. First of all, start with your exfoliating acid, use that as you should for a month, and then introduce the retinol and use the two together. That way your skin isn't going to be overpowered by all of these actives all at once. You're going to get less irritation, less redness, and of course a lower chance of purging, which can't be a bad thing. So just think about introducing these actives gradually and try not to do them all at once. My top tip number 4 has to be introduce a peptide serum into your life before you then add any ingredients that carry with them a risk of purging. Peptides are stunning ingredients. They can hydrate the skin, they can produce collagen in the skin, which gives us that firmness, elasticity and snapback that we crave, but also they can help to even out the skin's tone and help to eradicate some instances of hyperpigmentation. I did a whole video on peptides, which I will link up there if that helps you to choose one that might be suitable for you and your skin type. The reason I say make sure you have a peptide in your routine, established in your routine, before you add any ingredients which could risk purging, is because having hydrated skin is going to be crucial to minimizing the amount of inflammation, redness and sensitivity, but will also help the purge to heal quicker if it does happen. Because peptides have the added benefit of eradicating excess pigment in the skin and helping to balance and brighten the skin tone, if you do get any breakouts, any zits as a result of a purge, they're going to be reduced quicker and you're going to see those dark marks fade much sooner if you've already got an established peptide routine and product in your routine. So definitely include a peptide in your skincare routine. It's never too late to choose one, so hop onto that video, check out the right one for you and put it in your routine. Finally, and this should be the most obvious, but it's the one that we are all guilty of ignoring, myself included, is when you're introducing a product, an ingredient which is likely to cause purging, make sure that the product which contains that ingredient is suitable for your skin type. I see so many people just buying a product because someone on TikTok says this product is life-changing. Buy it, you'll use it, you'll love it. You buy it and then you see the purge. You need to work out whether the ingredient will be right for you, but whether the base formulation and the product is right for your skin type. If you're drier skinned, you might want a more hydrating base. If you're oily skinned, you might want something that's a bit more matte and a bit more light gel-like in consistency. So you need to match the base formulation with your skin type. I've done so many videos on like choosing the right vitamin C for your skin type, right retinol for your skin type, and of course the right exfoliating acid for your skin type. So I will leave them links to them down below in the description box if you do want to check them out. Maybe make sure that you're introducing the right one for you. But by including the right base formulation in the product which holds the active ingredient that could cause purging, you're just going to minimize that risk of dry skin, sensitivity and redness, which can all lead to an increased purge rate and something we just don't need in our lives. So guys, there you have it, my 5 top tips for minimizing and potentially eliminating the risk of purging in your skincare routine. I always say there is nothing you can do which will eliminate the risk of purging completely. It is a fact of life when you introduce some active ingredients into your skincare routine. You might purge one month, you might introduce another active and not have a purge. It's completely dependent on a number of factors. So there's nothing you can do to completely control it. But if you follow these 5 simple tips, you should minimize the rate of purging, and any purging that does happen, you'll heal quickly from, which has got to be like the A game, because then you get onto that gorgeous glowing skin that awaits you after the purge. And hopefully you'll share some of your purging experience in the comments below, because I'd love to know what your experience is. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you straight away. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I'll send you lots of love. Take care. Bye.